G'day, thanks for joining me. I'm in central Queensland, exploring a town steeped in rich history and heritage. Dubbed the gateway to the outback, this town is a thriving tribute to the industries of cattle and sheep which have shaped this region. That's right, I'm in Longreach. With a population of about 3,000, this dusty outpost holds the title for the largest town of central Queensland. In other words, it's remote. Before I get stuck into meeting the locals here, there's a young fella from the Torres Straits I'd like you to meet. Aaron Farso is his name, and I'm on my way to meet him for a quick catch-up. From his stint in the National Rugby League to now making a big name for himself in film and television, this is a man whose achievements are nothing short of admirable.
Richie!
Same way! And I'm not supposed to do that.
Yeah,
Do that now or whatever, or this, or let's get out of here. He doesn't know it yet, but there's something I want from him.
How you doing?
I'm good, which are you?
Same. I just been cruising.
Yeah, I know you've been cruising. I've been watching you cruising too.
Yeah. So, where originally are you from then?
It's Torres Straits, Saibai Island.
Saibai.
Big family. He was the eldest of 13. They didn't have much TVs. Well, they didn't have TVs back then, obviously.
No, rugby's a big game. If you want to trust a full team, you have your own team.
Absolutely, absolutely. You just make your own team.
Yeah, make your own team. But we need a winger.
Yeah.
Longreach was named after the Long Reach of the Thomson River. It's situated just outside the town centre and snakes its way 300 kilometres across central Western Queensland. It seems like a nice spot for a yarn. So if I say to you la-ti-da, what would that mean?
La-ti-da.
Yeah.
Ti-da-do.
No. How you say your surname?
Farso.
La-ti-da. That's what I love about you. That is that big smile of yours. You have a good laugh. Where's the laugh? Was it this family thing?
Yeah, no, it's a family thing. It's you know, but you know, it's one of those things where I've learnt from my grandmother where, you know, sometimes when I'm laughing, it doesn't mean I'm laughing with you.
Yeah.
I could be laughing at you.
Yeah. Yeah. All this bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, all this new cultural stuff all going around Sydney, all these artists, these dancers, I mean, the Perkins, the actors, the music, songs, dances, have gone left, right and centre. Why did you want to become an actor?
I had something to say. It resonated because, you know, at heart I'm a storyteller. And I think when casted for Remote Area Nurse as one of the lead roles, I already knew that that role was tailor-made for me. I had a brief of the character.
Why did you come back to this place for anyway?
I was called.
Oh, boy. No one knows where the hell you've been for 10 years.
It's just sometimes you need to be lost in order to be found.
So, with all that training and background and roles you played along the road, the reason why I'm asking you all that is this is basically like an audition.
Oh, okay.
You being a Queenslander, do you know much about your state?
Ooh, absolutely.
Yeah, and there are places you just want to go.
Oh, absolutely.
But there's that old bloke in there, Ernie Dingo, that's sort of doing those places. Can you fill him in for me?
Absolutely.
So if I sort of like want to go fishing, for instance, and they're looking for me, I'll just...
Handballer this way.
Job's on.
Done.
I'm going camping.
Let's go.
Let's go. I'm in Longreach, Queensland, where I've just recruited Mr. Aaron Farso to help me meet some of the locals who call this place home. You'll be hearing from him later, but first I'm on my way to meet a traditional custodian by the name of Suzanne Thompson, who is the very definition of a boss lady. Suzanne was at the forefront of returning the nearly 9,000-hectare Turrbara station back to the Inangai people, which is where I'll be meeting her today. There's something very special she'd like me to see. Well, oh, big buggy.
Hey.
Oh, stop it. Oh, we're not allowed to do that, eh?
No.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, you?
Oh, yeah, I'm deadly. Shall we go and check this?
Yeah. So I'm Suzanne Thompson, and I'm currently the founder and managing director of Yumbaka Aboriginal Cultural Heritage and Tourism Development Aboriginal Corporation, Yachadak. Start this thing up. Diesel.
Crank it up.
Crank it up.
Suzanne, myself and Troopy Dave venture along the expansive sun-beaten landscape, bound for a nearby escarpment.
This is it, Ernie?
Oh, this is pretty big, eh?
Hey, yeah. So, yeah, this here, all the way up that way. You're going to want to see these things.
Okay.
Come on, let's go. But here, this one here, the Milky Way,
What do you mean? So those holes?
they're the stars from up there. So all these here represent the stars because it's the Milky Way, like the big rainbow serpent.
Yes.
The river in the sky, eh?
Yep.
Yeah. So this would teach us how to walk nighttime. So we knew at a particular time when we had to go across country, we could go and big star to big star, waterhole to waterhole to waterhole, how we could get to where we... Right across this land. But we know that that one story is the one thing that connects us all around the world. So we started talking about the Seven Sisters story. So we know Waranuri, he was a shapeshifter, the clever one, but he had the magic dance sticks and music sticks. So he thought, play them sticks and try to seduce them women. So then as Waranuri then, chase them seven sisters across the sky with his magic sticks. 1 sister, 2 sister, 3 sister, 4 sister, 5 sister, 6, 7 sisters there. But then these ones here also, that's the Seven Sister constellation. And then as he chased them women across and he'd go, yeah, but I'm going to do my magic seduction dance. I'm going to shift and I'm going to change the way I look. And he changed then into the deadly spirit dancer. And as he changed from animal, half man, half animal, they didn't know was he bird. He could trick them. And then from that, then he shapeshifted. And as he shapeshifted, he turned into then the big rainbow serpent. And they cruised across the land there. But then went, oh, yeah, but I'm going to fly above you like the eagle and look at you too. But all of this here was everything that then started to determine our songlines and our law. For us as Aboriginal people, one of the things that's really important is that we only ever have one mother. You have many fathers, but you have one mother. So the Seven Sisters story, being a women's story, which is housed here on this wall. So hence then the significance of my role in being the matriarch and I think being gifted this journey. Thea Yimbanaka. Stop, look and listen. Allow Aboriginal people, allow us to show you all the way because I reckon we'd have to have something right.
Hey folks, Aaron Farso here. I'm here in Central Queensland. And Ernie has officially put me to work to see what I can find out about this little outback town called Longreach. I'll be spending the day with a local named Tom Harwood, who knows a thing or two about aviation. You may have heard of a little company called Qantas. Well, apparently this is where it all took off. And Tom is going to take me on a trip through the decades to explain just how.
Hey mate, how are ya?
Well, thanks, Aaron. Yourself. Welcome to Longreach.
Sorry?
Welcome to Longreach. Bit noisy, isn't it?
Bit noisy.
Want to go for a ride in the old beast?
Absolutely.
Oh, righty.
Model T Ford.
Go on. Welcome to Cozy.
Yeah, thank you, Cozy.
Right, hand signal first.
Well, this isn't quite the ride I was expecting, but for a 100-year-old car, hey, I'm not complaining.
Tell me, what's the association with Model T Ford?
Well, in 1919, the federal government organised an air race from England to Australia. And they commissioned Paul McGuinness, Hudson Fish, a couple of World War I pilots, to go from here to Darwin to create landing grounds for the air race. Right. They travelled in a Model T Ford. Along the way, Paul McGuinness got the idea that this area could use an air service. A few months later, they had meetings, discussed the idea. 16th November 1920, they registered a company called Queensland and Northern Territory Aerial Services, which is Qantas. And that's how the whole thing started.
Wow.
As we approach our destination, I get the feeling that I'm in for quite the history lesson.
We've arrived.
We
Welcome to our
have,
place.
we have, we have. Hey, look out. Giddy up. Let's go check out this hangar room.
My name is Tom Harwood. I'm the curator at the Qantas Founders Museum in Longreach. And that covers a variety of things, including looking after stuff, determining what will be displayed in the museum, and I'm one of the people, as the aviation expert in the place, who gets to take tours. I also train tour guides.
All right, Tommy, what have we got here?
This is a de Havilland DH-61 giant moth, to give it its full name. Basically, it's the DH-50's big brother.
Right.
And Qantas bought 2 of these in April 2029 to start the Brisbane Charleville service.
I see that it does have a bigger cabin, and I believe it also had a new addition to this particular model as well. Can you tell me about it?
De Havilland sold them as an 8-seater. Qantas took 1 passenger seat out and put in a wooden pedestal with a can underneath it. So it was the first airliner in Australia with a toilet on board.
You know, it's the Qantas has started from, you know, from an 8-seater, from 4-seater to what we see today.
Yep. Speaking of which, how would you like to go and see our 747 and maybe go for a little walk on the wing?
A 747? Absolutely. Let's go see
Let's
it.
go it.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a pilot. And when I was 4, I discovered the Boeing 707. Qantas got these in 1959. 1960, the 40th anniversary, they took a 707 out of each capital city and people were able to go through it and see it. And my mum took Uncle John, his mate Alan, and me as a 4-year-old out to go through that 707, and I was hooked.
Come this way, sir. We'll get past the galley and come to the staff lounge.
Oh, wow.
Nice place to do your work for the boss system.
Play some cards?
Yep, whatever. Now, let's go through to the main salon, which is the next staff area on the aircraft. This is more relaxation, I suppose. That's a workspace. This is settle down and relax.
Well, this is
Take it easy.
This is enough room for a play space.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And it probably has been at times, too.
If only these walls could talk.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I see
Yeah, Michael there.
MJ's photo over there.
Yeah. The whole 5, Jackson 5, travel on this aeroplane 4 times. From here, you get into the private quarters.
Yep.
And they've got this narrow corridor up the side. It's like a railway carriage, I suppose. Private sitting room is here, including a red phone for Batman call Commissioner Gordon. Isn't that a great idea?
Hey, there you got it.
Over this side, all the way through to the bedroom as well.
Fantastic.
Remember I promised you a walk on the wing of the 747?
You sure did.
Well, let's go and do it.
I can't say I've done this too many times, mate.
Very few people have.
Yeah, no, I can imagine. Tell me a bit about this. We're on the wing.
Of a 747-200?
Yep.
Yep. The front section actually made of fiberglass. And they put pipes through that because if ice forms on the wing, it changes the shape of the wing, makes the aeroplane heavier. And so to get rid of it, they take warm air off the engines, 208 degrees, run that through the pipes, 200 degrees melts ice.
Well, that's a bit warm, mate.
Very simple system, isn't it? And where we're standing at the moment, on empty fuel tanks. There are 5 in each wing, 1 in the centre. The aeroplane can hold 206,000 litres.
206,000 litres.
And if you're filling up from empty at today's prices, that's about $500,000.
Now, Tom, you've got a radio background. How did radio find you out here in Longreach?
Yeah, I got 45 years in broadcasting. So I came in 72, came back to work here in commercial radio in 75, back with the ABC in 89, back with the ABC in 91, and I have not left. Done the DJ, I've done the journalists, I've done the presenters, I've done the producer, I've done the manager. I came to Longreach because this is where the work was, and I could have moved on to other jobs over the years. I chose to stay here and not apply for other jobs because I enjoyed being in this town.
Would it be fair to say that, you know, with our discussions that we have, that Longreach actually does have a part in your family's history? Can you just go a bit further into that, please?
Yep. My great-grandfather migrated from England in 1914. He'd been a prison chaplain there with the Church of England and was coming here to be a bush brother, young men who rode on horses out to properties and delivered spiritual services. He arrived in Brisbane, got off the ship, went to the Church of England office, and they said, "Oh, weren't you told? It's only for single men. You have a family, you can't go." When I came to Longreach for the first time as a tourist in 1972, the area grabbed me
Yeah.
and wouldn't let go.
Is that where that interest of history and stems from?
That's part of it, but there's also the fact that my parents were big on history.
Yeah.
And I like to know where I came from, where we came from, where this came from. How did this come about?
Yep.
This is, to me, this is important because you can't really understand why it's the way it is, why I'm the way I am,
Yes.
unless I can go back and say, well, that's where things came from. This is how it happened. And that's why my great-grandfather's story is important to me, because it tells me why I love this place, why it loves me. Sorry, I'm getting emotional now.
No.
But why it loves me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the key to the whole thing. One message I think Australians need to learn is there is an Australia that is worth seeing and discovering. There is a history that is ours, that is shared. Get out and discover your own country. Then go and tell other people about ours when you go over there again.
G'day everyone, it's Ernie Dingo coming back at you from the Queensland town of Longreach. If there's just one person who can personify this region, the next local I'm on my way to meet will do a pretty good job. He's a fifth-generation Longreach farmer, cheeky as hell, and a good bloke through and through. After running the family farm for 12 years, drought hit, and he switched over to tourism, giving city folks a taste of country living. Outback Dan is his name, and he'll be giving me a tour of Camden Park Station.
Welcome to Camden Park Station.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you, mate.
Good to see you too.
Well done. You're running a bit late this morning.
What do
Where
you mean
been?
running late?
Well, by my time, we're a little bit late to go out and get the goats.
What? How can you tell we're late and what are you doing with bloody goats?
We sneak a watch up in our hat here, mate. But yeah, so what we've got to do is go out and wrestle a few goats and bring them in.
This is sheep country, cattle country. What are you doing with goats?
Mate, I'm going to tell you a bit about diversification on the property, so buckle in, let's go get them.
Diversify. Okay, what's this? This is the wiggle car.
The big red car. Get in, mate.
Our big red car.
Let's go.
Yeah, give it up.
Wake up, Jeff.
Yeah. Whoa. Hat. Hat.
He's agile. Agility.
Yeah. Oh, there's a handle. Wow. Good.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's go get these goats. All right. Didn't see the horse crossing here, did I?
Get out of the road.
So my name is Dan Walker. Everyone calls me Outback Dan. I used to be a farmer's son on the property, but now I'm a tourist operator. I used to sit on a bike behind cattle and sheep, but now I sit on a bus and talk to any guests that want to come and see what we do on the land. Don't know about you, Ernie, but these goats, they're breeders.
I know. Because we can only see 3 there now, I reckon. By the time we get over there, we'll be at least a dozen.
Oh, there's already 4. She's just had one as we talk.
There we go, goats everywhere.
There's a few goats.
Rollers?
Yes. Hey, she's proud, that girl.
Yeah, just got a little bit of shade now.
In its natural state like this, having hooves as short as these blokes is a lot easier than having, cattle. Do you know why cattle have got hooves on it?
Yeah.
Because they lack toes.
So where we are at the moment is at Camden Park Station, 10 kilometres near Longreach, outback Queensland. And what we do on the station is day-to-day work, and of an evening we enjoy tours coming through and watching the sunset. And it's a way that we can share our story, which goes back sort of 3 generations to the land.
Wow, look at that.
Yes.
That's a pretty good ceiling.
It's a pretty good roof, mate. This is the old ballroom. Acoustically.
Little to know when you got a ballroom.
Oh, you got to have some sort of fun, mate. This is how you'd entertain your guests back in the day.
So you would have had a lot of people come here from town
Yes.
on that dusty road.
Yes. In 1970, we had a pretty special guest.
Go on.
April, the grandfather, had got wind of a certain somebody coming across from Brisbane to Mount Isa and offered a lunch venue for her to drop in and say g'day to a few of the locals, all lady dignitaries from around the area, and here she sat. The Queen said, I just told you. The Queen.
You mean Lizzie?
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth II.
Came to your house?
Yes.
And sat down on the... Oh, my lord.
Yeah.
What, here?
Yeah, that's the Queen's throne. That's Queen
ma'am.
Elizabeth.
Oh,
Yeah.
how rude of us. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. The history and the significance of Cannon Park Station is we've had VIPs from Prime Ministers through to the Queen back in 1970 and the list goes on.
That's pretty special. I mean, I love that woman. She's just... There's this niceness.
Yes. The drought itself has been, going for 9 years now, which is not just the 100k around Longreach. It's wider. And it's had a tolling effect on many people. That little bit of rain, a little bit of moisture, we'll be cheering in the streets. We'll be dancing in the puddles when the rain comes, just to get us all in smiles back on the dials type thing. The one message I'd like to share with anyone watching this show is to see your backyard, to get out and meet people like myself and find a camp spot or, do 5-star luxury glamping in town, whatever tickles your fancy, just get out and come and say good day.
In the overwhelmingly flat landscapes of Longreach, an outcrop with a 360-degree view seems like a nice spot for Aaron and I to watch the sun go down on our final day here. Way up this way, and sticking out in the middle of nowhere is this little pimple. I tell you what, this is one pimple worth climbing. Truly. Up this high, with the sounds coming up, it's that quiet you can actually hear people whispering out if they're down the car park.
But I think, this time of year, we can actually, if you're lucky enough, you can hear the country speak to you.
As the sun sets on our time in Longreach, it's humbling to think back on the wonderful people we were privileged to spend our time with. From Cezanne, a strong keeper and protector of a people's story, culture and legacy, I'm excited to see what the future holds for you. To Tom Harwood, a keen enthusiast of all things aviation, you are a true treasure trove of knowledge, and your love for what you do is enviable. Thank you. And finally to Dan, a kind-hearted and good-humoured bloke who's ready to give any of life's challenges a fair crack. Thanks, mate. Longreach, it has been a pleasure. Until next time, farewell.